gemstones. So last week's video I started the journey of getting from self-loathing to self-love. First plank of that is being aware of what you tell yourself. And then the second plank of that is shifting your focus towards the things that are easy for you to compliment. And we're talking about things about yourself, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, intellectual, or magical traits about yourself that you like and easy for you to give a very genuine compliment to. For me, the example that I gave because of when I started my process feeling like there was nothing about myself that I liked, there was something about myself that I liked, and it was the ring around my eyes, and then it became the color, and then it became the eyelashes, and I exploited the ever-living snot out of something that I liked about myself, and it worked in my favor. But I'm not going to lie about the fact that the negatives would try to creep their way in. And that leads into the next step we're going to talk about, which is forgiving yourself. We're human beings, presumably, living in human society, presumably, with human brains. Again, presumably. We are, each of us, one generation in thousands. Like, our society, our culture, whatever, has been cultivating itself for thousands of generations, and we are just one in those thousands that gets to witness others around us. But because of that thing, a lot of things are already in place. Yeah, some of them are breaking down, falling apart, while others are rebuilding themselves, but we're having to deal with what is in our environment, and that does impact what happens in here. So that is why forgiving yourself is very important. It's easy for the negatives to creep right in, especially if you're resonating more closely with the self-loathing than the self-love, because you're still at that early part of the process. I know for me, when my eyes were the only thing that I could find that I loved about myself, I was still a lot closer to self-loathing than self-love, because it was so freaking easy for the things I didn't like that were so close that I would still scandalize and be really mean toward, to just creep into my focus. So with the forgiveness aspect is realizing I'm a human being. This is still the early stage of my process. I'm still feeling around for the things that work for me and the things that don't. I have a long way to go, and that's not a bad thing, because I've spent a long time cultivating feelings and thoughts that weren't beneficial toward me. And so I'm going to have to spend that much time and that much effort cultivating things that do work for me, because I'm trying to detox myself of all of that gunk that was just obstructive and created a very grotesque and painful path and attracted things that hurt and were not working for me, attracting even more reasons to hate myself, because I was so immersed in the self-hate and feeling unworthy and incapable and ugly and all of that. I was attracting even more of that because I was focused on it. And those things were coming into my experience because people around me would focus on those things. And when you're a little kid, you're impressionable by the environment that's around you, and things that exist, things that people do, especially the people that you trust and love the very, very most. And you catch on to that and you mimic it because you think it's right. And so it's a matter of reprogramming and reconditioning yourself to be kinder, and to realize that maybe that is not the way that your actual powerful true self feels about you. But really, your inner self has really nice things to say about those things, but it's because of the influences around you that you thought it was normal to say that, for example, having dark skin around your eyes is a blemish and it's hideous and ugly and you need to cover it up and heal it and take care of it because it's not right to have. That was something that was a normal part of my experience because of people around me that felt that way about that particular trait. Maybe because they had it themselves. And so I took that on and was telling myself that about that. And then eventually realized that that's a normal thing. For me, it's a genetic thing. It's not a lack of health thing. I naturally have thinner skin around my eyes, and it's darker, and that's okay. And I had to learn that I had to teach myself that it wasn't hideous to have that it's not a blemish. I don't need to cover it up. It works in my favor to just let it shine. It's a unique part of me, my being. This aspect of the universe that is me. It caters to my individuality, my uniqueness, to just have that. And I don't see it as ugly anymore. But at the time I did. And I had to forgive myself for that. I had to get to the point of realizing that it wasn't really me that felt this way. It was something that was around me, something that was in my experience and inundated. My experience was inundated with this stuff. Forgiveness. Step 3 in the process. Step 4, which actually makes step 3 easier, and I will explain why I don't put that out there first in a minute. Step 4 is cultivation. And we are cultivating particular things, we'll call them. The best example that I can give of what we're cultivating, and before I go into this, I am not a religious person, but I do examine things in religion, spirituality, the arts and sciences that actually are of a great benefit to people and provide clarity. So, putting that out there, not pushing religion on people, but I want to use a concept in the Christian religion known as the fruits of the Spirit. And for those of you that don't know, they are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Cultivating all of these particular traits is definitely of your benefit when getting from self-loathing to self-love. It's the more that you cultivate gentleness and kindness towards yourself, the easier it is to forgive yourself for thinking negatively. It's easy, when you're closer to self-loathing than self-love, it's easy to be hard on yourself for letting the negative thoughts creep in. And it happens. I know for me it happened. Like, whenever the thoughts about the dark circles around my eyes would creep in, at first I would be mean to myself about it. I was like, how could you? You're trying to get from self-loathing to self-love, and here you are, loathing yourself again. Knock it off. That's not very kind. It's not very loving. I was only attracting more frustration and self-loathing by responding to myself that way. So really what we're cultivating is healthy responses to the things that come into your experience, the things that you happen to attract in. That's what I was looking for, not things. They are responses. You are cultivating the healthy responses to the things in your experience. So, in the beginning, it's hard to be more forgiving to yourself, but with continued practice, utilizing awareness and focus, and awareness and focus, and awareness and focus, eventually you get to that point that when the negative creeps in, you're not hating on yourself, you're going, I'm only human. It's okay. This stuff happens, and I need to be nicer to myself for it. And so the more that you cultivate that fourth step, the more that you cultivate healthy responses, the easier it gets. And as you can probably tell by now, these 4 steps, you're going to cycle through them. Maybe not necessarily in order. You're going to bounce through them. It happens. I know it did for me. I bounced through them a lot in order to get closer to self-loving rather than self-loathing. But the result was still the same. I still ended up much, much closer to self-loving than self-loathing, and much closer to attracting the things that I actively wanted in my experience than attracting the things that I did not want or were not happy or fun or exciting. So that's all I got for this week, and I hope that you all benefit from this video. Sorry it's so raw and all over the place. I'm still getting used to making videos. I haven't done it in a long time, and this is a new thing for me, and it challenges some of the things that I deal with internally too. So thank you for your patience with me and for watching these videos, and if you benefited from it, please like, subscribe, watch all the videos I have. I am trying to post on a weekly basis. I really am. And if you have anything that you would like me to give feedback on, or comments or questions that you would like me to answer in a particular video, leave a comment down below, and I will get to it and see what I can do with it and run with it. So thank you very much, and have a phantasmagorical week. Bye!